They call it the Lenovo Yoga Pro 9i. This is the Aura edition. In this video, let's unbox it. This has been a de facto creator laptop for the past 2 years. Now, the model I have before me is the RTX 5050. They say it comes to the RTX 5070, but as I've been looking around online, it's been difficult to identify how and where to buy that laptop. So let's get into a little bit of the unboxing, and then I'm going to jump over to look at the models and the different purchase options and where you can buy them from, so I can maybe help you make the right decision. Now, this model that I have before me is the 2.8K display. They also have a 3K display as well. So depending on the model you choose, if you choose, I'm pretty sure the 5060 or higher, you'll get the 3K. If you choose the 5050 version, you'll get the 2.8K. It's actually it's 3.2K to be exact. So we're going to go ahead and check out the charger block real quick. This is a 170 watt charger block for the device, and you get your power cable along with that as well. And then as we pull the device out of the box for the first time, let's see. Got some good weight to it. What's interesting is I just unboxed the Legion Pro 5 a few moments ago, and that model was actually surprisingly light compared to models in the past. This might be the same weight or even a little bit heavier. Now, this is an all aluminum chassis versus the Legion Pro 5 with its aluminum top cover and then plastic, the bottom cover, keyboard deck, and side panels. However, this will add a little bit of weight being all aluminum. So let's go ahead, pull it out of the sleeve here. Looks like we have our 5 megapixel webcam on the top. We'll check that out in just a moment, give you a sample of that so you can look and see for yourself. Chassis looks identical to last year's model. So the big updates are going to be with the new RTX 50 series and the latest processor from Intel on this device. You can see we have ventilation here, 2 fans, one on the right, one on the left. And let's check out our ports. Power button, 2 USB Type A, full-size SD card reader, manual cutoff switch for the webcam, power adapter, HDMI, 2 Thunderbolt ports. Nearly positive those will be Thunderbolt 4. We've yet to see Thunderbolt 5 make it onto these more thin and light devices. And then we have our audio headphone jack. I'll double check on the Thunderbolts as we get into reviewing the product and how to buy it here in just a moment. Now, one thing I really like about this device is its really nice crafted rounded edges. There's no catchy edges on this device. As I mentioned, just reviewed the Legion Pro 5. In this back corner here, it has like a 90-degree angle. So it's a little catchy on your hand when you're going ahead and holding it and carrying it around. This is definitely a far more comfortable device, far more premium device. As mentioned earlier, I was saying this feels a bit heavy. You can see the weight and thickness coming up on the screen right there. There's that. And during the later in the video, we're actually going to pull off the bottom cover and check out the upgrade path of this laptop. Now, if you're curious about the exact pricing and availability, as I shift over to talk about the different models and pricing, you can head down in the description below and click those links. If you do make a purchase, I'll get a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. But of course, that's what keeps this channel alive and the helpful content coming your way. All right, now, as we're looking at the different models available online right now, you can see we have the RTX 5060 version available for $21.99. Again, this may not be the exact live pricing when you're looking at this, so check those links. And then as you switch over to the model that I have before me, we have the RTX 5050 version for only about, let's see, $200 cheaper. For me personally, I would probably go ahead and make the jump up to the RTX 5060 version, being that it's only $200. If your budget allows, it's going to give you a more beefy GPU. However, as we go over to Lenovo's website, we see very clearly, let me find where this is listed, that you can get this device up to, where does it say? Oh, where did it go? Up to an RTX 5070. Scroll down here. It reloaded my page. There we go. RTX 5070 and 64 gigs of RAM. This is a really well-equipped version of the device. It's going to give you plenty of ceiling for 3D modeling, give you plenty of ceiling for video editing, especially that Premiere Pro is now using upwards of 15 to 20 gigs of RAM while editing footage. So definitely something to keep in mind. Not only the more powerful RTX 5070, but then you get 64 gigs of RAM. Now, this is where things get interesting because I've yet to be able to find an exact product page listing to purchase the RTX 5070 online. However, if you come to the customization page on Lenovo.com, scroll down to the 64 gigs of RAM section, you can see that the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070 graphics and a second 1 terabyte SSD will be automatically selected. But what's really weird is I don't have an option to toggle a 5060 on. I just have the option to go from 32 gigs of RAM to 64 gigs of RAM and automatically toggle this additional RTX 5070 on. If we click view all specs, show specs included, scroll down, you can see here that we have 32 gigs of RAM and RTX 5050 currently selected for this model. Now, if I go ahead, switch over, one moment please, it goes from $1,800 to $2,449. Oh, you can't see the price up there. Actually, if I pull it, there we go, you can see it now. There we go. There's the price. Jump back in. And then you don't see the option selected. It didn't add the additional M.2 as far as I can tell, but we do have the 3.2K. Now, let's go ahead and shift over to our spec page though. We have the 64 gigs of RAM now added. We have the 3.2K. We have the RTX 5070. And then we scroll down a little farther. We have one drive. So it didn't add that second drive, but it did in fact add 64 gigs of RAM and the RTX 5070. I know this was a little long-winded, but I wanted to help you guys with your buying decision that if you're looking to buy this model, you can get it on Lenovo's website. If you're looking to buy the 5060 version, you have to go to Best Buy at the moment because that selection was missing on the Lenovo customization page. Or if you want the 5050, that's available on Best Buy as well. All right, now let's go ahead and shift over. Again, if you're looking for the live pricing, you can head down in the description below, click those links, and I'll link up to get to the customization page for Lenovo as well. All right, moving over to the top cam, we're going to open and close the lid with one hand. You can see that's done very easily. It's more of a weighty laptop, so that open and close is not a challenge. And we'll even go to this direction as well. And then I'm going to do a little screen bounce. This is a clamshell laptop without a ledge, so these screens tend to be a little bit more bouncy than say the Lenovo Legion Pro 5. So I just reviewed that one, did the unboxing, and the screen was a little less bouncy because of the way the hinge is configured on the top of the device. Now, the big, beautiful benefit to choosing the Yoga Pro 9i is the large trackpad. Ooh, wow. Okay, sorry if that was awkward, but that is a fantastic trackpad. Quiet, dampened click, glass trackpad, doesn't have that snappy, loud click that I personally am not fond of. This is a manual click trackpad, but it is a dampened click noise. You probably can't even hear it. Let's see. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But that is just, it is such a beautiful trackpad. It's nice and large, fits very nicely. Now, the other big benefit of doing the Yoga Pro 9i as compared to other creator-focused laptops is a lot of other creator-focused laptops don't have the numpad. They actually keep this off of the laptop. Now, if you look in the comment section, a lot of creators for 3D modeling, motion design, and video editing are using this numpad. So this is very important. They've shrunken down the middle arrow keys a little bit. Not as huge of a deal for me because I love having full-size shift keys. And we do have, if I'm not mistaken, these are upward-facing speakers on this device. Now, the keyboard is nice and quiet as well. So you have a matched quiet trackpad with a quiet keyboard. And during my full review, I go ahead and I do a sample of both the audio, add that in. For now, let's go ahead and check out the webcam. There is a webcam on the top bezel of this device, and let's give you a little sample so you can hear and see for yourself. Now, the next thing I want to point out is this, in the past and currently, is still a glossy display. Now, for the Legion Pro 5, and I keep bringing that up because I know, well, not I know. In my opinion, if I were trying to decide between a laptop, those would be the two, as far as price point goes, that I'd be comparing. Do I go for the creator version or do I go for the gaming version? Now, the big benefit of the Legion Pros in the past is they have the matte displays. And I know a lot of people like those matte displays. I personally did as well. This is a glossy display. It's been a glossy display for the past couple of years. OLEDs are often glossy. They don't do matte cover because it just has the ability to produce richer colors, darker darks, and that glossy display really allows that sort of performance to shine through. Very color accurate, great display in this device, but it is glossy, and so you'll be able to see some reflections when you have overhead lights or you're coming against a window, whatever it might be. Okay, to verify the port connectivity, I said I would do that earlier. These are Thunderbolt 4 ports, okay? So we do not have Thunderbolt 5 as I anticipated on this laptop. That is something that will be coming in the future with more devices. Thunderbolt 5 is on thicker gaming laptops at the moment right now. The Thunderbolt 5 module is a bit thicker than the Thunderbolt 4 module, and so therefore to fit it in these thinner form factor laptops is not fully possible at this moment. So Thunderbolt 4 is still available on these more thin and light devices. Thunderbolt 5 you're going to find on the thicker gaming laptops, so keep that in mind. Without further ado, let's go ahead, turn the laptop off, flip it over, and check out the upgrade path on the Lenovo Yoga Pro 9i Aura Edition. Bottom cover wasn't too challenging to get pulled off. As we pull it off, you can see we have our two fans, heat pipes coming through the center. We have one M.2 slot that is occupied, and you can see this is the shorter M.2 slot that the device ships with. No RAM upgrade, and then we have an additional full-size M.2 slot available to be added with a drive. 84 watt-hour battery, so you have everything you need besides the RAM upgrade, which again is why I'd say if you want to get the full absolute most capability out of this device, I would upgrade to 64 gigs of RAM, and I will get that RTX 5070. Remember, links are in the description below if you want to check the live pricing or make a purchase. Really appreciate y'all watching this video. Stay tuned for the full review and head-to-head comparison. I'm going to put this up against the Legion Pro 5 once I get it benchmarked. I'll see y'all here in the next video.